The streets of Kano were as lively as ever, yet there was something different in the air. Ramadan had arrived. Banners swayed in the wind, and lanterns glowed as merchants called out to last-minute shoppers. I watched from my office window, feeling the familiar pull of nostalgia. The holy month had always been a time of reflection, yet I had spent the past years too consumed by work to truly embrace it. But this year, I felt something stir within me, a longing to reconnect with my faith, my family, and the traditions that had shaped me. The silence of dawn wrapped around me as I sat on my prayer mat, the faint call to prayer echoing from a distant mosque. In that moment, the weight of my choices settled on me. My life had been a cycle of deadlines and ambitions, but I had lost sight of something deeper. I remembered my grandmother's voice, the wisdom in her stories, urging me to find balance. As I bowed my head in prayer, I made a quiet vow: this Ramadan would be different. At home, the aroma of spices filled the air as my mother, Amina, moved gracefully between pots of steaming tuwo shinkafa and mayan kaka. She had always found peace in these rituals, and watching her, I saw the love she poured into every meal. "Come, Musa, help me set the table," she said, her voice warm. I obeyed, feeling the simple joy of tradition. The food was more than nourishment, it was a bridge between generations, a reminder of the roots I had strayed from. As the adhan signaled the end of the fast, we sat together, my mother, my younger sister Zara, and neighbors who had become like family. The first taste of dates, the refreshing sip of zobo, it all felt different this time. I listened to the laughter, the stories, the shared gratitude, and I realized that faith wasn't just found in solitude, it lived in these moments of togetherness. That night, Zora and I walked to the mosque. The golden lanterns flickered against the intricate patterns on the walls, casting a serene glow over the worshippers. As the Imam recited the Quran, the words resonated deep within me. It had been years since I truly listened, since I allowed myself to feel the weight of every verse. I closed my eyes and let it wash over me, reconnecting me to the child who once found solace in these prayers. Outside, Kano had softened under Ramadan's embrace. The usual chaos of the market had been replaced by gentle footsteps and quiet conversations. Strangers exchanged smiles and heartfelt greetings, Ramadan Kareem. Even the shopkeepers, who usually rushed to make sales, paused to offer food to those in need. I stood there for a moment, watching, absorbing. This was the spirit of Ramadan, the kindness, the unity, the slowing down to truly see one another. At work, I suggested something small but meaningful, collecting food and clothing for those in need. My colleagues embraced the idea, and soon our office turned into a hub of generosity. The day we distributed the packages, I handed one to an elderly man, his eyes welling with gratitude. "May Allah bless you, my son," he whispered. Something shifted in me. This giving, sharing, lifting others, this was what I had been missing. One evening, I found myself drawn to a gathering of elders in the neighborhood. They spoke of Ramadan's past, of times when hardship only strengthened their bonds. "We had less, but we had each other," one of them said, sipping tea. Their words wove a thread between the past and the present, reminding me that my identity was not just in who I aspired to be but in the legacy I carried. The night of Laylatul Qadr arrived, and in the quiet glow of our home, my family and I gathered in prayer. The Quran rested in my hands, its verses no longer distant words but guiding light. As my mother whispered her supplications and Zara wiped away a tear, I realized this was the moment I had been seeking, not grand gestures, not public declarations, but the intimate certainty of faith settling in my heart. Eid morning arrived in a burst of color and joy. The streets of Kano overflowed with laughter, children in new clothes running about, families embracing after prayers. I looked around, seeing the beauty in both tradition and modernity. I had spent so long thinking they were separate, but they had always coexisted, shaping me in ways I had only begun to understand. As I walked home, the echoes of Ramadan lingered in the air, a reminder that though the month had ended, its lessons would stay with me. Faith, unity, and compassion, these were the lights that would guide me forward. And in that moment, I knew I had found my way back home.